Is it possible that an automatic watch can go 20 to 25 years without a service? I think with careful management and a bit of thought, that's very possible. If any of you think the same or have done this, I'd like you to let me know through the comments section. There may be a little bit of debate on this one. Mechanical watch movements really are marvels of engineering. Tiny, tiny little motors powered by the slow unwinding of a mainspring. Little precision instruments with many moving parts. Now, like any engine, like the engine of a car, eventually they'll need a service, lubrication, things replaced. Some watches, like the modern Seiko 5s and the Russian Vostok Amphibias, are well known for their rugged longevity. Those movements can last well over 10 years without a service. And then there are others, like these Seiko movements, that are found in all sorts of watches. Lots of Seikos, but also Seiko provide movements for many other manufacturers, lots of micro brands. And when these movements are at the end of their life, it's not really worth servicing them. You can replace the whole movement for £40, £50. So servicing on some watches is a non-issue. But what about all those other watches? The watches that really do need a service every 5 years. The watches where you can't just replace the movement. You need to take them to a watchmaker or a service centre, have the spring replaced, have all the little moving parts lubricated with the correct lubricants. What about those? Could there be a way to delay that 5 years? Maybe stretch it out to 20 years or 25 years? Well, you tell me, because I'm new to all this. But I do have an idea, and I'd be very interested to hear what you think. Right, so here's my idea. If we use the car as an analogy, the best maintenance you can give a car is to use it regularly. Well, the same thing applies to watches, or any engine, I would say. Regular use keeps everything lubricated. Machines are designed to be used, they're not designed to sit and corrode and dry out, valves and rubbers and seals. But also, if you overuse something, if you use a car every day, the miles rack up. If you use a watch constantly, 24/7, it is true that you'll get about 5 years out of a mechanical watch, most mechanical watches, before they need a service. And let's say you have a car and you use it once a week instead of once a day. Well, really, that doesn't give anything long enough to deteriorate or dry out. The car will probably run fine, and you're using it a lot less. So if we apply that to watches, I would say that with the modern lubricants, that the oils and the greases that are in a modern watch movement, I believe that they're much better than they used to be when they used to use organic or animal-based oils and liquids. So it's very possible that instead of you wearing a watch every day, if you wore it for, say, a couple of weeks every 3 months, that would be 8 weeks a year, which would mean that you could effectively get 4 times the life out of that watch. 4 times 5, 20 years. So the way I am doing things is that, let's say I have 10, 11, 12, something like that, automatic watches. If I wear 2 of those on a rotation, along with another watch, a quartz or a solar watch, every 2 or 3 weeks, then both of those automatic mechanical watches will get plenty use over a 3-month period. Every 2 or 3 weeks, I change them for something else, so that those 2 watches really over a year are only being worn for 8 to 10 weeks, let's say 12 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year, so I'm using them for a quarter of the time I would be wearing them full time. Which should make them last 4 or 5 times longer. And if I've got watches like Seiko 5s and Vostok Amphibias that are designed to last 10 years at least anyway, then they could just last forever. So this is my plan. I'll just show you the rotation that I have at the minute over this 2 or 3 week period, and it'll be replaced by 3 other watches in the next 2 or 3 week period. For example, here with this watch rotation, these are 3 watches that I would wear for a 2 or 3 week period, and then swap them over for another 3, so that over the period of 3 months, say, roughly, we don't have to be obsessed about this, everything gets worn. There's lots of variety, and the automatic and mechanical watch movements are used, and then over a 3-month cycle they'll be used again for another 2 or 3 weeks. So as you can see here on the left, there's an automatic spinnaker. There's a solar powered Citizen in the middle, which is a quartz solar powered movement. It doesn't need a battery replacement. And on the right, we've got a little Seiko 5, another automatic movement. So I would wear these 3, you know, every day or every couple of days over a 2 or 3 week period, and do the same again in 3 months' time. And that way, each of these automatic watches, these 2, are being used 2 or 3 weeks in every 3 months, which is 8 to 12 weeks a year, rather than 52 weeks a year. So what do you think? Is this something that will work? It'll definitely work. Is it a ridiculous idea? Has nobody else thought about it? I don't know. But I certainly think this is a good way to extend the life of an automatic watch, a mechanical watch. It makes common sense, really. If you like this video, there's plenty more. There will be plenty more. Please subscribe. Please like. I've got so many things to review and talk about to do with watches.